Live from the CBW Radio UK studios in Chelmsford, this is Off the Record with Big C and his trusty companions, Jazzy Jeff and Stinky Pete.
Good evening, one and all. This is Big C, and this is Off the Record, and Stinky Pete's waving. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on X, you might not be watching on X yet. I can't see it on there yet to repost, but also on the YouTube channel. It'll be on all three, streaming live. And I was going to say, I haven't. Hello, guys, by the way. Hello, Stinks. He's on his phone or his tablet tonight because of issues. I don't want to bog you down in a depression with all the things that have gone wrong for you today, Stinks. But it's not been a great day. But at least Spurs didn't lose.
It's not been up there amongst my finest. After the laptop died this morning, and I then got the phone call telling me that he was going to have to do all kinds of things and couldn't fix it the way he was hoping to. I then got a speeding ticket, and then Spurs were shite. So all in all, it's been a really good day, and I'm very happy. You can tell by my smile, look, see.
We didn't lose, though. We didn't lose. That's the main thing.
Well,
I just said to Jazzy Jeff, Nottingham Forest have had more managers this season than we had shots tonight, which is something.
That's not good, is it?
It's not great, is it?
Nah,
I was watching a bit of it, and the likes of Simons, he just doesn't seem to want to shoot. I mean, he needs a bit of confidence, but I don't know. I mean, anyway, we didn't lose.
Only a kid. Everybody's on his back already. He's been here
true.
5 minutes, and he's not used to playing. He's not used to playing at the price of at the speed of the Premier League. No one who comes to the Premier League is. That's why the guy who's hit the ground running is kudos, because he was already here. He'd done 2 seasons.
That's true.
The Spurs fans have got no bloody patience. They drive me nuts. I'm going to take them all out and slap them.
Yeah.
That's my final word.
That's a lot of slapping.
That's a lot of slapping. That'll take you a while, that will.
That would take you a while.
62,000 people to slap on Sunday.
Can you imagine the furore in the papers when Stinks slaps Adele?
Yeah, it wouldn't play well, would it? Yes.
Yeah, not a good idea, I don't think.
She hasn't been moaning about it though, has she, Adele? I don't think anyway.
She moans about everything. That's what she does.
There's Baby Spice.
Then she writes a song about it.
Yeah, she
welcome anyway, Jazzy Jeff. Hello. I didn't know I said hello to you. We've been communicating already there, but we are Off the Record. It's episode 186 today, and it's season 7, episode 16. And we don't want to talk about any more football or laptops or anything like that. We are going to talk, because we've had a number of these over the months, of these alphabetical little series we've got of alphabetical albums. Now we have got so far up to the letter M. Today, next one on, funnily enough, is the letter N for November. And it's going to be good fun. I found this one, there's quite a lot I've got actually. Looking through all of my libraries on the iTunes library, which are generally all the CDs and other downloaded stuff as well, and stuff that I did have on vinyl and now I've got on CD. I found I've got a lot. I don't know about you lot. I know, Stinks, you said you've only got about 9.
Yeah, I've got 9. Well, I haven't. I've got 10, but one that Jeff and I agreed we probably weren't going to talk about. But that's going back to my thing about I'm only choosing things that I've actually physically got the albums. So that's why.
I've got 13 that I own, and I've picked all of those bar 3.
Well done, Jeff.
Hey, go me.
Maths O level.
2.5 actually, because I've got 10.5 really.
I think I own all of these ones in various different formats, but I think I own most of them, if not all of them. Right, okay. Well, where are we going to start then?
Shall we start with the letter N?
I'm going to start with the Now That's What They Call Music, Volume 88. I've got a few of those. Goes from 1 through to 100 and I don't know what it's on now. No, we're not including. We don't normally include compilations unless Stinks throws one in cheekily like he has done in the past. N albums. So N albums, someone can start. Stinks, out of your 9, you can start. Go on. You got anything safe that ends?
Let's make this easy. Let's start with one which I think all of us will have chosen. because then we can have a discussion about it rather than me go through, and it'll be kind of quicker. So I'm going with an album that was recorded at Sound City, California, between the 2nd and the 19th of May, 1991, and was released that year, and it is the iconic Nevermind by Nirvana. So that's my first one. I did a little bit of when I own it, but I was kind of reading a little bit around it. The only thing that it was all recorded at it was all recorded at Sound City, except for Polly, which is one of my favourite tracks, and that was recorded at Smart Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, which, in case you're in the slightest bit interested, is a place I've been to several times whilst working for whatever they were called, APV Engineering. So it's Madison is quite a bohemian kind of university kind of a town. And I guess I wasn't surprised when I discovered there was a recording studios there. I mean, clearly it has one of the iconic album covers. If you talk about the great album covers, then it's going to be up there with Pink Floyd and, Dark Side of the Moon and a few of the others. For me, and I'm, you know my feelings on 1990s music. I am not generally a fan, but it's clearly a generation-defining album. And I mean, if I was choosing tracks off it, I'd choose "Smells Like Teen Spirit," obviously, "In Bloom," "Lithium," "Polly," and my favourite track of theirs, which is "Come As You Are," which is also my favourite track on the Unplugged album. So I thought, now, I own it. I better throw that in early. I'm assuming that at least one of you's got that on your list.
Well, firstly, before I answer that question, I was trying to find the name of the game. The name of the guy on the cover. Didn't he sue them or something?
He lost. Yes, he lost about 3 weeks ago.
He lost it about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He lost the suit. Did he really?
He lost the suit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it showed a little naked boy, didn't it, in the swimming pool?
He was suing for child abuse, basically, and the judge said no.
Interesting. All right.
Maybe the only sensible thing an American judge has said all year.
Well, we're getting into controversy straight away there.
Okay. It's me, and I've had a bad day.
Never mind, eh? Never mind. Yeah.
I haven't chosen it. I own it, but it's one of the ones that I've not chosen.
Right.
Fair enough. Well, I have it. I too have not chosen it. Again, it's one of those obvious. It definitely needs a mention. And the thing is, I've never been an absolutely huge Nirvana fan. And never mind. Honestly, I would say "Smells Like Teen Spirit," "Come As You Are." I might be struggling. "Lithium," is that on there?
Yeah,
I might be struggling to choose other tracks from it, to be honest.
Polly, and "In Bloom." They're the five.
"In Bloom," yeah. Maybe I'd know that as well. Yeah.
5 standout tracks, and then you've got another 5 or 6 which are not all right. Listen, when we did the show a couple of weeks ago about the overrated, cult acts, Nirvana were on my list.
Yeah.
So I think they have their place, and I own the album, and it is a generation-defining album, and it is a genre-defining album. If you're talking about grunge, then that and 10 by Pearl Jam are probably the two genre-defining albums. Now, I'm not particularly a fan of either. I've got both of them; they're all right, but I don't think you can have an end conversation without Nevermind.
Nevermind, no. And it's one of your N albums, so you've got to have it in, haven't you? If it's
because I'm struggling for choice here.
You've got to have it in. Okay. Grunge generally. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I don't mind some of it, but on the whole, I find it a little bit
grungy,
a bit down, a bit miserable, a bit depressing. A lot of the sounds that come from it, but that was the sound that was the early 90s, I guess.
It was in the States. It's very much an American thing.
Yeah,
I don't think over here it was particularly. It was fighting with Britpop over here, wasn't it?
Have we got a grunge band over here that are big? I mean,
No, not really.
No.
I can't think of any.
No.
You know, the father of grunge was Neil Young, and then all of the other bands are American. But I mean, there's some good bands. I mean, you know, but they're just, it's not really my thing. And I understand the place they held in culture because, you know, you've, apart from Nirvana and Pearl Jam, you've got Alice in Chains and you've got Soundgarden. I mean, you know, Soundgarden have done some good stuff. So, you know, that it is what it is. But
I've just typed in British grunge, British grunge bands, British grunge bands, and it's come up with Bush.
Yeah, well, Bush. I mean, I guess they would probably be in that category. Yeah.
Who knew that they weren't American though? They sound American, don't they? It's probably why they did so well over there. I don't know whether they did a lot better over there than over here. PJ Harvey, they've got written down here as well. I didn't know much about PJ Harvey and Nirvana in there at number 3 on the.
But they're not a British band, so why are they
not British? No, they're not. I don't know why they're there. I did type in.
Have they got an English member in them? Don't think so.
No, there was only 3 of them. There was Dave Grohl and the bloke who shot himself and Kurt Cobain, and then the other one.
Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. No, he wasn't in Nirvana, was he? Taylor Hawkins.
Taylor Hawkins was the drummer.
No, he wasn't.
Grohl was. Hawkins wasn't in.
No, he wasn't. No, of course he wasn't, because Dave Grohl wasn't.
No, he's in Foo Fighters, wasn't he? So, Never mind. Yeah. All right. Okay. So you haven't got Nevermind, Jeff. But what have you got?
Oh, well, should we start in the 90s?
Go on then, since we were in the 90s with Nevermind.
Okay, so which people were talking about iconic covers. This was an award-winning cover, which they consequently and subsequently changed. So the 2 editions of it, the first one's one cover that won a whole bunch of awards, and then they changed it for an entirely different cover afterwards. Any ideas? Sold 6 million copies.
That's quite a lot of copies. American?
Third studio, English, third studio album.
Beginning with N, obviously.
Beginning with N.
British album beginning with N, 9 million copies.
6
million. How many? They've had a lot of albums since, or was this like just a one-off?
4 or 5 albums since, I think. 4 albums since. So
Hit
just
singles.
A bit easier.
Hit singles.
Hit singles. Oh, on this album, at least 3. One of which is megalithlically well known. One of which is really well known, and one of which is well known.
So they're all well known.
They are.
From well known to megalithlically well known.
In my
That's
opinion,
a good word.
They are the GOAT of their era, of their genre.
Well, we should really get this, but I'm struggling at the moment.
Okay,
no, I've got no idea.
Asleep from the Spurs game. I think that's what it is.
This is Nobody Else by Take That. By Take That.
Take That. It's called Nobody Else.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's the one.
I'm honest.
It's the one that Robbie Williams left halfway through. So they changed the cover to just the 4 of them on the cover.
Yep.
You better look it up in case I'm wrong.
I'm looking up the cover. I'm looking at
what was the big single?
The big single is Back for Good, which was huge.
Never heard of it.
Oh, come on. You know Back for Good.
You will have heard it. My favourite Take That song is Never Forget, which is on there as well.
Well, yeah, I don't mind that. It goes on a bit, though.
And Sure is on there as well, which is a good single as well, along with a whole bunch of others. It was the last one they did before their first breakup, because obviously once Robbie had gone, they decided to call it a day for a little while. It's what Take That do. They're good songs. It's superbly produced. It's well delivered, and nobody within that genre does it better at all. I will die on that hill. Quote.
As Stinks would say, yeah. No, nobody does it better, other than Carly Simon.
I've got to tell you.
Nobody does it better. Quite. Sorry, Pete.
I said, I'm not going to die on a Take That hill. So we're all right.
It's a good album.
I know the singles. I'm unfamiliar with the album. Maybe you're going to request one of them over the next 2 days. One of the tracks. But Back for Good is an excellent song. I do love Back for Good. And that's by a country mile, to quote.
Absolutely, Simon.
Is their best song as far as I'm concerned. And of course, Take That fans got very upset because as soon as I said they're back for good, Robbie Williams left, which didn't go down too well.
And then Gary Barlow made a huge amount of money out of Robbie Williams leaving, because Robbie Williams used to do a punk version of Back for Good as his finale on his solo songs, on his solo things. And when you cover a song and play it live, the writer gets a percentage of the volume of the crowd size.
Every time they perform it?
Every time he performed it.
Really?
So as Robbie Williams was selling out Nebworth and Hyde Park and all of those places, Gary Barlow was sitting in his little Mancunian office raking in a huge amount of money.
If he sang it live, which presumably...
But he did it as a mixtape.
Right, okay.
And did it as the encore, and he sang it live every gig.
Oh, good. Strange.
There we go.
So,
I didn't know nobody else Take That.
But nobody else Take That. He does love Take That. Pete,
I do like Take That.
He does love Take That.
Never forget. Never
forget. Yeah, all right. Who sang that? Was that Howard? It wasn't Gary Barlow.
It was. I believe it was Howard.
I think it was Harold. Donald. Howard Donald, isn't it? Yeah. Harold. Something across between two. Harold. Right. Okay. I'm going to do one now then. And I played a track from this actually on the radio this morning. Not that Stinks would have heard it, so we were all right there. Because he was.
Oh, no. Was it In the Land of Graham Pink? Oh no, you didn't play that, did you?
No, I didn't play that. And that isn't an N album anyway. I did say at the start of the show I'm going to be playing Caravan, but of course, obviously, events took over, so I couldn't play it. But I did play a track from this album. This is an album from October '76, and it was the 9th album by this individual. And the first with the name of his band as the artist, if you see what I mean. The rest were just him. Although only 5 out of the 9 tracks on the album had the band on, because the others were the backing was by the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. It had 3 singles on it. It was a number 8 album in the US, not here. Not an album, not a hit, I should say. Had 3 hits in the States, 3 singles. One was the title track. Although that did get to number 4 and it got to number 45 here in the UK, but about 20 years later, for some bizarre reason, I don't really know. And this is a guy I think is a really, he's generally always overlooked rocker, songwriter, because he's never really here had that really big hit. And I think that's probably what gets you that sort of following, doesn't it? And you could become famous, and then they got that to perform. And if I tell you the name of the title track, does that help you?
Might do.
But nothing is so fast. So.
Title track is Night Moves.
Bob Seger and Silver Bullet Band.
Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
Yeah.
Which I think is an excellent album. I listened to this the other day. Again, I had to listen to this because I thought, right, I've got to get remembering it as I did, and yeah, it is great. Night Moves. Main Street is on there as well, another classic single. Kick-ass opening track with Rock and Roll Never Forgets. Yeah. But there's some acoustic stuff on there as well, some slower stuff. As Fire Down Below. The track I played this morning on the radio was Sunspot Baby, which opens side 2. It's a real rocking opener, I think. Yeah, Main Street with lead guitar was by a guy called Pete Carr from the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. I don't really know him, Jeff or Pete, actually. So yeah, Night Moves, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band I've gone for. Not a hit over here. But
which is weird because I mean, that was when I was at college, and I remember a lot of people owning it. So I'm surprised it wasn't a hit. But a lot of people bought it when it came out, really on the strength of Night Moves and Main Street, because they're both, I think, really atmospheric. They're kind of almost ethereal for rock music. I think they're both brilliant songs. I mean, it's a great album. It is a great album, but
it is a good album, and I will try and play one of those tomorrow at least. Okay, right, Pete, what do you got? What's your second one after Nevermind?
Right, I'm going to 2022.
Oh my word!
Good Lord.
Oh, it's just got to be something by Nightwish. Have they had a self-titled
No,
album?
it's not. No. They don't,
or Ghost.
They don't have them. No,
Ghost?
It's not them either.
Oh,
It is an album produced by Joe Bonamassa and Josh Smith, recorded at Sunset Sound in Los Angeles.
Again,
And
that was where the last one was, wasn't it?
The artist in question is quoted as saying this: "It is a departure. I've done 2 back-to-back blues albums. Now's the time to sit down and write something completely different." And it is...
Yeah, Beth Hart?
Yeah, I was going to say Beth Hart.
No, it's Joanne Shaw Taylor, and it is Nobody's Fool. And it is a departure because she did the blues album, which she did with Joe Bonamassa. She did a live blues tour, and then her most recent album, Heavy Soul, is back to more her kind of thing. It's really interesting because I've always seen her as a blues guitarist, but she's adamant that she's not a blues guitarist. She is a guitarist that plays blues, but blues rock. So, and she doesn't like being defined in that way. And I think this album, and actually the next one, although the next one is kind of more like this, I just think they're a bit different. It's quite rootsy. So she, and this one's got collaborations on it. So Nobody's Fool, which I think was one of the singles. Won't Be Fooled Again. No, not Won't Get Fooled Again, which she does with Joe Bonamassa. Just No Getting Over You, which is a really funky. It's almost like, the latest Anna Popovich album, which you play some stuff off, where she's kind of the same. She's a blues guitarist, but she does that kind of funk and more poppy sound. Well, that's very much like that. There's a great song called Fade Away, which features Tina Guo, who I don't know who she is, but she's obviously a very good musician. But that's a real ballad. There's a really interesting song in it called Missionary Man, which she records with Dave Stewart, and she's got Dave Stewart from Eurythmics.
They did Missionary Man, didn't they? They recorded Missionary Man. Eurythmics.
So it's her version of that song. But
right, okay.
So she does it with Dave Stewart, and Dave Stewart was the one who discovered her. So although Joe Bonamassa championed her as a blues guitarist, it was Dave Stewart that encouraged her, because she's a black country girl, and he encouraged her to go into music. And then there's a great song called Figure It Out, which is with Carmen Vandenberg. And apparently she wanted her and Dave Stewart involved because they're 2 lifelong friends in the music industry. And I love Joe. I think it's her 8th studio album, I think, or it might be the 7th, but I've got pretty well everything she ever recorded.
I've counted 8, so I just looked 8, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 8th. So Heavy Soul is the 9th, and then there's a couple of live albums in there as well. But it's a great album. I will choose a track or 2 tomorrow, because there's some I can't choose because I don't think you'll be able to find them. So yeah, Nobody's Fool, Joanne Shaw Taylor.
Okay, good old Joanne. So it's showing that, like Joanne, that everybody knows everyone's got a mate called Dave, which is quite handy in Joanne Shaw Taylor's case. Is she the one that let you down when you were going to see her at the Palladium? Was that Beth Hart?
No, that was Beth Hart.
That was Beth Hart, who was ill, wasn't she?
Beth was coming to see Joanne Shaw Taylor with me at Harpenden Halls, but then he got sick and didn't come. So yes.
Apparently so.
I bought 2 tickets. I bought 2 tickets. You forgot, and then you were ill. So, anyway, she's absolutely brilliant live. Rebecca and Carlos went to see her in this tiny, tiny little venue in Madrid, and she absolutely blew the stage down. They said she was brilliant. So yeah, she's well worth seeing live. She's very good.
Okay, Jeff.
Right. You know how sometimes you hear a piece of music on the radio, or back in the day when you could afford to do it, and then just on the back of that one piece of music, you go and buy the album.
Yeah, I know those.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you go, why have I bought this album? And that'd be because I've only known one piece, and you play it, and you go, actually, I love the whole of this album. So I was right. So 1975, self-titled, first solo album, absolute standard rock pop album. Left-handed guitarist plays the guitar right-handed. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's the thing. Anyone want to have a guess or not? No, it didn't do very much over here.
Self-titled album debut. Self-titled album debut album, beginning with N.
I'll give you some clues that will blow it apart. So he used to play with Crazy Horse.
Okay, so it's
and
not
he
Neil
went
Young.
on to play with
Right, okay. So this is Nils Lofgren.
Nils Lofgren.
Nils Lofgren.
Right, yeah.
So Nils Lofgren's first album, which is called Nils Lofgren, although it is occasionally called The Fat Man because it's got a picture of a fat man on the front. But the guy's a genius. Absolutely.
I'm going to sue them. I'm going to sue them for that picture.
So he when he was a nipper, he learned to play the accordion. And he went on to train classically and started playing jazz music. And then he realised that he could actually play the guitar and make money out of doing it. So he packed it all in and joined a band whose name I can't remember, and then started to play with Crazy Horse, and then did this stuff on his own. And there's 2 or 3 albums that he did on his own before he went on to play for East Street.
Grin was the name of the
band. That's it. Grin. That was it. Yep, he played with Grin. But this is just it. It's a first album. It's obviously a first album. It's quite naive in its production, but it's got a fantastic version of Going Back, which is the Carole King song. He does a lovely acoustic song called 2 by 2, which you've played for me in the past, Colin.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's got Keith Don't Go on it as well, with the Ode to the Glimmer Twin, which is the one that most people will know that's on the album. But actually, it's got this silly little thing at the beginning, which is a bit of fun, and it goes straight into a song called Back It Up, which is a really good song to open an album with. And it's an old album now, but it's a good first album. And I don't think any of the stuff that he did on his own subsequently was any better. I'm not saying it was any worse, but I don't think it was any better. I don't think he did a solo album that's any better than his first one.
Is he still playing with Bruce Springsteen? Does he still play with Bruce Springsteen?
He plays occasionally with him, but no, not very.
He's not a permanent member of the E Street Band, is he?
No,
he was a permanent member. He was keyboard and guitar and gymnast. He was a gymnast as a kid. I don't know if you've ever seen him on the live shows. He does trampoline stuff on the with his guitar in his hand and all sorts
in that regard.
But he's just had a double hip replacement apparently, so he can't do that anymore.
Oh no!
And just by the by, his missus is absolutely lovely. She chats on Twitter to anybody who is talking about Nils Lofgren or anything. I've had a couple of chats with her. She's a really nice lady. So, yeah.
Well, that's because she speaks very highly of you as well. So that's nice.
She frequently sends me messages saying how much she values our friendship. Yeah,
I'm sure. It's a good little album, Nils Lofgren.
There's so many albums that I haven't really listened to in their entirety that I should. I feel. Yeah. And doing this and playing stuff on the radio, you get to know, I should have a listen. That sounds like one I should listen to.
You'd like it.
I have these relaxing periods now in the afternoon, so I think I'm going to have to do nothing because I'm stressing out with all this other stuff. And I think I'm going to have to relax. I'm told I'm going to have to listen to an album or something. Well, no, I wasn't. I was told I've got to relax. And that one thing I thought, well, okay, I'll just lie down and I'll have the headphones on and listen to an album. But I haven't been doing that. But I've been doing the lying down bit. And the trouble is, I end up falling asleep. So I end up having a granddad nap every afternoon.
There
Well,
is
maybe I should.
nothing wrong with a granddad nap in the afternoon.
No, I love a bit of a granddad nap. I haven't managed to do it today for various reasons. Been not going on, but
I have.
I probably will tomorrow. It'll be late tonight again. Right, I'm going to have to come on to mine. I think I'm sticking to the same year as the first one, actually. Yeah, 76. And this is June 76. And this guy's 7th album. There are 2 or 3 albums that were ends that either he had out as a solo artist or with his band had an N. And I'll just won't waste time, get onto it. The band album would have been A Nod's As Good As a Wink.
Oh,
To a Blind Horse. Or Never a Dull Moment, of course, in 1972.
Pete, you must know this.
He knows Never a Dull Moment, surely.
Yeah, that's Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. And as is my album here, it's Rod Stewart, came out in June 76. And it is, I mean, I'm assuming this is an N album, A Night on the Town. I'm not calling it a.
No,
it's Night on the Town.
Night
on the Town.
We'll give you that one.
Oh, thank you very much. There might be another one there later on. Regarded often as one of his finest albums, actually. Got 3 big hit singles on there. Killing of Georgie, which probably had one of his most hard-hitting lyrics to, I would say. No,
I like the Killing of Georgie. It's one of my favourite.
Number 2 here, number 30 in the US. Although the little coda is remarkably reminiscent of the Beatles' "Don't Let Me Down."
It is,
which
yes,
I think,
so.
yeah. I mean, John Lennon said once, yeah, Rod got away with one there. I think. Tonight's the Night, which you probably don't like anyway, do you, Stinks? Is that one of yours? Not one of yours?
Not really. I mean, it's no, not really.
Number 1 hit in the States, banned by many radio stations for its obvious lyrics about sex and. Can we say sex on air?
Not on the BBC.
And the loss of virginity. Yeah, I know. We can't say anything about that. First Cut is the deepest. There's a Cat Stevens song. That was a number 1 here. Number 21 over there. But side 2, also classic rocking opener called The Ball Trap, which is, as you can imagine, is a bit rude, I suppose, in a way. But it's about
your flies.
Not quite. But it's yeah. It's about someone bouncing on a trampoline in the middle of the night, I think. It's something like that. And it's the only non-cover, actually, on side 2 of the album. But they've got quite a bouncy, rocking cover of Pretty Flamingo on side 2, that was number 1 for Manfred Mann back in 66. Another country rocker, country romp, Wild Side of Life, which Quo took into the top 10 as a single the following year, yeah, that's all I need to say, really, because otherwise we'll run out of time. Gonna have Night on the Town, Rod Stewart for me. So we're back to you, Pete.
Okay, well, I'm now going to swap the order that I was going to do these in.
Okay.
In order to follow. You what?
You got a bit of paper. I was impressed.
Yeah, we saw that. We didn't read any of it though.
I'm going to swap the order in order to follow on from my baby brother, because I have chosen a 1977 album with the title Night After Night, which is the Nils Lofgren live album.
Yes.
Which I own. Now, it's one of those, it's a really good album. When you listen to it, all of the versions of all of the songs that he does live are great. And you go, yeah, I would have loved to have been at this concert. And then you read the sleeve and discover that it actually wasn't a concert. It was the Hammersmith Odeon, the Glasgow Apollo, and the Roxy in LA. So for me, that's not a live album. It is a series of live tracks. It's not a live album. For me, a live album's got to be a gig. And it might be 2 gigs in the same venue on the consecutive nights, but it's got to be a gig. And this clearly wasn't. That does not take away from the fact that it is a really good double live album. It starts with Take You to the Movies, which is what you were referring to, Jeff, which then segues into Back It Up. It's got Keith Don't Go on it. It's got Cry Tough, which is one of my favourite tracks. That's not on the first album. I think that's on the second one.
That's on Cry Tough.
Sorry?
That's on the album Cry Tough.
Yes. Oh, right. Is that what it's called? Yeah, fine. Okay. Right. So You're the Weight. Incidentally, It's Over. But my favourite track on the album is the final track, which is kind of like the encore, which is I Came to Dance, which he does as a kind of loose jam with talking to the audience in between time. It's classic live album material, but as Jeff said, you know, if you've got Nils Lofgren, and actually he's got Tom Lofgren, his brother is on guitar and organ, Will Neil Jones on bass, Dave Plasto on drums, and Pat Henderson on piano. It's a good band, and it's a really good live album. And if I kind of go through my massive list of live albums, it's one that gets played not frequently, but regularly.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it mine?
No.
Because I used to own it and I don't anymore.
No, it's not.
It will be that I just got rid of it because it bored me because I don't like live albums that much. But I wondered whether I'd given it to you.
Well, let's put it this way: on the inner sleeve, the name of the album is written in the red that I usually write in, not the scrawly blind that you usually write in. So I'm guessing it's mine. But I mean, who knows? Maybe I wrote over yours. But anyway,
it's like yours.
I've got a question. One of the off the record listeners, viewers are all got on the tip of their tongue for you, Pete. Do you have more live albums than you do greatest hits? I can't imagine that would be the case.
I shall count them up.
You can't do, because you've got 198, wasn't it, of the live ones? Was it?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was
greatest hits.
The greatest hits album was 136 plus some compilations. I think it was 140 something in total. But I will go through the live albums. I'll let you know. Anyway, moving on.
Over to you, Jeff, and tell me it's not Nils Lofgren again.
It's not, but it's the same year as the Nils Lofgren original album. Okay. So 1975. Let me give you a little bit of background for this. The title of it was inspired by a 1942 recording by an ornithologist.
I've got this on my list. Yes, I know exactly what this album is.
So
I didn't know you owned
the ornithologist was in Surrey, and he was recording birds singing. And when it was played back, what everybody realised was, 1942, of course, that the birds singing were there in the foreground, and in the background were the sound of the aircraft going over. So it was called Nightingales and Bombers, and it's by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. And it's the last album that Mick Rogers was singing and guitaring. I don't know whether guitaring is a word, but if it isn't, it should be.
It's not a word, I don't think, but we can make words up.
That's one of the reasons the BBC make the word guitaring up.
BBC will never have us on because we make up these words. We're like Chuck Berry. We make up words. People know what they mean. They just don't actually mean anything. They're not real words.
Absolutely. It's standard. It's a standard Manfred Mann's Earth Band, semi-prog, semi-rock pop album. I like it. It's never going to set the world alight. It's not as good as Blinded by as Roaring Silence, but it's a good album. It's got a great cover of Springsteen's Spirit in the Night, which was the single. I don't know whether it did anything. I didn't look it up. It's got a version.
It got a lot of airplay. I don't know whether it charted.
That sounds about right for Manfred Mann's Earth Band stuff.
Yeah, but it did get a lot of airplay.
It's got a version of Joan Armatrading's Visionary Mountains, which is quite good as well. Yeah. But my favourite one, I have to say, is people don't write lyrics like this anymore. So the song's called Fat Nelly.
It is.
Brilliant song. And these are the lyrics. Are you ready for this? This is all the lyrics for the whole song.
Okay.
Here is the story of Fat Nelly Whoa, was she fat? Fat Nelly was killed with a butcher's knife. Nobody laughed, nobody cried, and her blood ran red all over my life.
Lovely.
That's it.
And that's it. And that's for 3
People
minutes
don't
and
write
20
lyrics
seconds.
like that anymore, do they?
Possibly a good job.
Since the 1970s, people don't write lyrics anymore.
I
Anyway,
might just choose it for tomorrow. It's a really good little song.
Well, it's interesting because I was going to choose "Spirits in the Night" because that's the obvious one to choose. I've chosen this as well. This is one of mine, so I might as well add to this now.
Yeah, sure.
But for me, I really like Mick Rogers' vocals. I think he fits Manfred Mann's Earth Band beautifully. I think he's very underrated. You know, he's a good guitarist, but I think he's a very good vocalist as well. The interesting thing, I mean, I love where the title comes from. I think that's a really good story. But the recording of the Bombers and the Nightingales is incorporated into the final track, which is As Above, So Below, which is my other favourite track on the album. Nightingales and Bombers is a good song. I agree with you, Jeff. I think it was the one directly before The Roaring Silence, which was directly before Watch, I think. And Angel Station, but I think they are their three best albums. So I think this was the beginning of their Purple period. I mean, they've done loads of good stuff. And it was this tour that I saw them at the Marquee when I sat next to Bill or stood next to Bill Oddie at the bar and ordered a beer standing next to the diminutive Goody. So,
being an ornithologist, he would have approved of it, clearly.
Well, he probably would have done. Yeah, indeed. But anyway, so yes, I also chose Nightingales and Bombers.
Mick Rogers, before Manfred Mann's Earth Band, was a member of a band called The Vision, which backed Adam Faith.
Did it really?
Apparently so, yeah.
I did not know that.
And he left the Earth Band, as we like to call it, in, when was it?
75.
He left anyway, because he wanted to steer the band more in the direction of Frank Zappa, which created friction with Manfred Mann himself. Does that sound about right?
I can't imagine anyone getting friction with a South African at all, but I don't.
No, I was just going to say, if you're going to pick a fight with someone, don't make it a South African. Would be the general rule.
Oh, it's like the crazy pharmacist on the radio show.
I love him.
He's a crazy South African pharmacist. He tells it like it is.
The trouble is that when you play those things and I'm trying to work, I'm busy writing away, and it's fine with music, and I kind of just zone out with you jabbering on. But when all that stuff comes on, I have to listen.
You start cackling.
Really infuriating.
Right, on that note of my babbling on, was it? I've got an album. That's a lot of these albums actually may have mentioned before, so I'm not going to talk about them for too long. This one was an album in '69, and I think my favourite album of this guy's as well. It was his ninth album again. It was his ninth album. It was a number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US, and what else have we got? It's only about 26 minutes long, so you blink of an eye and it's over. But it was his complete, I would say, immersion into country music more, continuing from his previous album, John Wesley Harding, and the rustic style of that. And this album was Nashville Skyline, and it's Bob Dylan.
Oh, which is one of the early ones I don't own. Right. So what's on that then?
Well, my favourite ever Bob Dylan song, I Threw It All Away, is on there, which is it's such a the whole album actually is not only is it a sort of veering off to country music, but his voice changed a little bit. It was more of a soft, affected country croon. He's actually trying to sing.
Is this the Lay Lady Lay type voice?
Lay Lady Lay's on it as well, of course. So that's another one you would know.
I don't know the album.
Yeah, Lay Lady Lay's on there.
Okay. I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Girl from the North Country. It opens with a duet with Johnny Cash, which was on Dylan's second album, I think it was. Freewheeling back in '63. Then there's a little instrumental country instrumental romp called Nashville Skyline Rag. To Be Close with You it's sort of influenced a little bit arrangement and delivery with Jerry Lee Lewis in a crazy way, with the piano and the way he sort of delivers the song. I threw it all away, as I've mentioned. Lay Lady Lay. Tonight I'll be staying here with you is the closing track, which is a bit reminiscent of the closing track on John Wesley Harding. Have you got that album, you say, Pete, or not?
Yeah.
Which was I'll Be Your Baby Tonight. It's sort of that sort of feel about it.
Yeah. I'll Be Your Baby Tonight was kind of pointing in the direction he was going to go with Nashville Skyline.
Yeah, maybe so, with Nashville Skyline. And I think it's a great album. I will be playing probably my favourite ever song by Bob Dylan tomorrow. Nashville Skyline. Right.
Can we just clear up, since we all went to grammar school, that Lay Lady Lay is grammatically a bit of a nightmare, and it should be Lie Lady Lie.
Lie Lady Lady Lie. It should be, yeah. As should, of course, Eric Clapton's Lie Down Sally.
Yes, exactly. So I think that the words that you said on this subject, our musicians need to get their act together in grammatical terms. It's very sad.
What about Roll Over, Lay Down then?
Unless...
No, it's Roll Over, Lie Down.
Should be. Roll over, lie
not
down.
Talking about the sort of thing you're talking about. It's like when you put a floor down, you lay it. You don't lie it.
Yeah, but you don't put the floor down on a big brass bed.
Good point.
I thought you were going to say that she was laying the table. You don't do that on a big brass bed.
That. She could have laid down a track on the. She could have been laying down a track on the in the studio.
Yes, of course she could. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
Or an egg. Or an egg, even. She could be laying an egg.
Could be. Lay. Yeah, okay.
So he's actually singing to a chicken. Now that's got some legs, and weirdly can't fly. So
though.
I'm not sure the egg angle works with Lay Down Sally or Roll Over, Lay Down, does it really, I suppose?
No,
I don't know.
Probably not.
Well, it depends where she's got the egg, to be honest. But anyway, let's not go down there.
Please not. Well, you've done 4 already now, Pete, because you've used that one of yours. You want to do another one, or should we move to Jeff?
Yeah, well, because one of the albums, the one I'm going to do after this one, I've got a lot to say about, so I'll probably take up to 2 slots anyway. So my next one is recorded in, this is a 1994 album, and it is recorded in Marrakesh in Morocco, in Bronior in Wales, and at the London Albion Studios. And it is No Quarter by Page and Plant.
I was going to say it's not Led Zeppelin, is it? Because that was Bronior, wasn't it?
So it's the it's sometimes referred to as Zepp unleaded, because it's kind of vaguely acousticy. This is one of these weird albums. I didn't know it existed. I was wandering around the Virgin Megastore in Kuwait on one occasion, where I used to go to buy albums because they were significantly cheaper than they are in the UK. And I bought, I don't know, over the years, 10 or 12. And one of them, I saw this and I thought, well, that looks interesting. I'll buy it and see what it's like, because I paid $5 for it, or something, the equivalent of $5. And I got it home and I thought, this is absolutely brilliant. I'm sure some of the people listening have got a copy of it, because it's become quite a famous album just because it's so different. And basically what it is it's Zeppelin songs, but done with the London Metropolitan Orchestra, an Egyptian ensemble of musicians, and then 4 musicians in Marrakesh. So they recorded some stuff in Marrakesh with in Morocco with these musicians, and bearing in mind that Kashmir was originally written as this kind of trip through the Atlas Mountains. It's not about Kashmir. It's so there's this kind of thing with Morocco. It's called No Quarter, which of course is a John Paul Jones song. And much to John Paul Jones's annoyance, they didn't invite him to be part of the recording or have anything to do with the album, which pissed him off a little bit for a time, but obviously not enough to stop them being mates now. It's got. They're not all Zeppelin tracks. Most of them are Zeppelin tracks, but then there's others which kind of I'm not quite sure what their provenance is, but they stick out on this album. So Nobody's Fault But Mine, which is a great song. No Quarter. Then there's a song called Yalla, which is obviously the Arabic for whatever the Arabic for Yalla is. It's gone out of my head now. City Don't Cry, which is a really nice version of that. A great version of Since I've Been Loving You, which obviously is a real Zeppelin classic, guitar classic. My favourite tracks on the album are all towards the end. So they do a brilliant version of the Battle of Evermore, which is my second favourite Zeppelin track anyway. But it's done with these with the London Metropolitan Orchestra and with the choir, and it's just a completely different version of it. Gallows Pole, which is another one of my favourite Zepp tracks, that's on House of the Hope. Sorry?
It says in Led Zepp 3 it was
on Led Zepp 3, yeah. I couldn't remember. Yeah. And it's a good version of that. But then there is there's a version of Four Sticks off Untitled, which I think it's my least favourite track on Led Zepp 4. But the version of it on here is really, really good. So again, it's one of those things where they've taken the song and they've just done it in a very, very different way. The version of Kashmir is absolutely blinding. I mean, I love that anyway. It's my favourite Zeppelin song. But the version on here with the kind of very Arabic sound with all of the kind of finger clicking and the percussion, it's just a really different rendition of a song that everybody who's a Zeppelin fan knows. And loads of people who aren't Zeppelin fans know it because it's been used on adverts and things or whatever. Or was it the World Cup, wasn't it? I can't remember anyway, whatever it was used for. But it's an album which, if you like Zeppelin, or actually if you like listening to covers done totally different from the original, then I would say it's a must that you have to have in your collection, because it's so unique in terms of the way it handles everything. And I was very pleased that No Quarter began with an N.
I'm sure you were. Kashmir, I noticed it's 12.5 minutes long. You like a bit of length, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but I'll spare you that tomorrow. I'll choose one of the other ones. But
all right, that's handy. Because when you said Caravan in the Land of Grand Peak, you said, "Oh, I'm going to pick 4 tracks from that album," and you hadn't come back to it. I thought, I'll check it out, and there's like 4 tracks, and the other one is like 22 minutes long or something. It's side 2. So I put those in. Never mind. Yeah, we got away with it. I mentioned it once. I think I got away with it. Okay. No Quarter, Page and Plant. Jeff.
Yeah.
One of the joys of this sort of thing is that you work through all the albums that you've got. You start looking, don't you? And you go, I've forgotten I got that.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, I've forgotten I got that as well. So actually, the next 3 ones that I'll do, I'd forgotten I owned. They're all mid-1980s albums. So let's start with this one. UK #1 for 5 weeks. Debut album, not self-titled. It's very, very, very 80s sounding. Heavily influenced by Pino Palladino's sliding bass style, which covered which everybody used at that time. And just in case you want to guess what it is, it's at the very end of the alphabetical stuff that holds my albums up, and it's not Neil Young.
Ooh.
It's the boy from Luton.
Paul Young.
Paul Young. No Parley.
No Parley.
No Parley. Which obviously had Wherever I Lay My Hat, which is a song that made him famous, but it's got Love of the Common People, which you either like or you don't like it, and I'm not certain, but I'm not certain whether I do or not. But it's got.
So it's not one that you either like or it's not one that you either like or don't like. Then you're uncertain of it.
I do like the original. I like the new the
Nicky Thomas, was it, who did Love of the Common People?
I can't remember what it was.
Something like that. I think it was Nicky Thomas.
And there's a whole load of covers of it, some of which are really good, some of which aren't. Come Back and Stay, I really like. It's a nice song. Iron Out the Rough Spots I quite like as well. But there's this fabulous little song in the middle of I think it's the first side, called Cuckoo Karama, which is like just a bit of fun, really. And I like that. But it's a good first album. It's very, very 1980s. Not as 1980s as the one I'll come up with next, which is incredibly 1980s.
Is it hair metal?
Huh?
Is it hair metal?
So no parlay, Paul Young. It's I will bet that there's a vast, huge majority of people who have 80s music who've got it and have forgotten they've got it.
Forgotten they had it.
It's one of those.
There's a cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart on there.
There is.
Interesting.
There is. Which again, don't know. I've got a fantastic version of Love Will Tear Us Apart by June Tabor and the Oyster Band.
Oh right, yeah, I've got loads of Oyster Band on my iTunes library. I can't believe there's so much on there.
They're superb, absolutely superb. And her and John Jones sing this thing together. It's lovely, but it's not.
I've never heard of them.
Well, the Oyster Band.
Yeah,
they're a
folky band, like sort of
folk rock, sort of folky.
Don't know how what comparison to any other band really. No, not Steel Ice Band, is it really? It's not.
No, it's a bit less meh than Steel Ice Band, but
is it Mumford and Sons?
No, it's not as poppy as that.
No, okay.
It's
anyway. I shall investigate.
Investigate the Oyster Band.
Anyway,
right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stick. Oh, now we're in the 80s. I'm gonna have one from the 80s, and this is an individual who has released a number of albums before this. This is his 8th album. Came out in September '82. It was a number 7 hit album in the US. It was number 27 album here, and it was a little technical issue here. It was one of the first ever albums to be digitally recorded, mixed, and mastered. He's thinking. He's got this. He's got this look about him as Jazzy Jeff. If you're watching on Facebook, you know exactly what I mean, or Twitter.
Well, Mark Knopfler was early doors in that because that
was the first CD I had. I think it was Brothers in Arms, but
right, Brothers in Arms was one of the very early.
I looked at something about this, and I won't remember what it is, Colin.
No, all right. Well, critics interpreted the album as being a bit of an homage to the music of the Beatles and the recently deceased John Lennon. He himself has said he's most proud of this album. There's this pessimism about the American dream in the Reagan years permeates through most of the songs on the album, actually. There's 3 hit singles.
Didn't we choose this last week in one of the power ballads? Has it got a power ballad on it?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't remember. The 3 singles were Pressure, Allentown, which opened the album, and there's Goodnight Saigon.
It's Billy Joel.
It's Billy Joel, and it's the Nylon Curtain. I think it's a great album. Side 1 especially. You've got the 3 that I've mentioned there, the singles. Goodnight Saigon is just comrades. We all go down together. You know the song I mean, Stinks.
I know the song. Yeah.
You do. I know as Jeff knows it, does he? Sorry, Pete knows it.
I don't know the album at all. I know the Saigon one, but that's
Good Night Saigon. You might know Allentown, maybe. You know Pressure. You maybe if you heard them. There's a track on side 2, which is called A Room of Our Own, and it's got a very 60s feel to it, and it would fit neatly on the Innocent Man album, which came out the following year, which had a lot of sort of different
he wrote a
styles
whole
of
load of
mode.
different styles of stuff, didn't he?
That's the one, and this would fit into that one superbly, I think. And there's some more sort of Beatlesque, obscure lyrics to a song I listened to. Scandinavian Skies, for example. I think it's inspired by his one experience of heroin, apparently. Like he says, on the plane, we were mainly sound and lights. In the veins, we could play the blues all night. And that was on a song called Scandinavian Skies. And the last track, closing track, understated track, I would say, is Where's the Orchestra? I think I may have played before. I think I played this as my album of the day a few weeks back on the show. Whether I'll put one in tomorrow, I don't know. But Nylon Curtain, Billy Joel for me.
Cool. Okay. So this is I've been waiting to talk about this album for a long time album. It's an album recorded live, and it is the recording of a tour, a week-long tour in 1988, which was put together by Miles Copeland, and it was a super group of guitar legends. It started in Bristol at the Colston Hall, Bradford, Newcastle, Liverpool, Manchester, finished at the Hammersmith Odeon. So that was the week. It was comprised of guys doing their own material, and then some covers and some collaborations of the guys playing on other people's material. So every single track on the live album, So the guitarists in question, Alvin Lee.
Yeah, can we guess?
Well, no, just wait for a minute. Alvin Lee, 10 years after. Randy California, Spirit. Pete Haycock, Climax Blues Band. Steve Howe, Yes. Steve Hunter, who's an American session musician, but he played with Alice Cooper, he played with Lou Reed, etc. He's a brilliant guitarist. Robbie Krieger from The Doors, Andy Powell and Ted Turner from Wishbone Ash, Leslie West from Mountain. Now, Robin Trower is also on the tour, but he doesn't appear on the album. Now, I don't know whether that's because they ran out of space or because whatever he did was crap, but he only appears on the final track. And then you've got Livingston Brown on bass and keys. He's absolutely brilliant. Chris Bucknell on keys as well. Derek Holt on bass and vocals. Clive Mayuyu on drums. And you've also got a guest appearance from Stuart Copeland. So it really is a galaxy of stars. Every single track is brilliant, because when you've got that caliber of guitarist playing each other's songs, that you don't get bad. But for me, the standout tracks are Randy California doing Hey Joe. He does this really interesting introduction about how, as a kid, he met up with Jimi Hendrix in Greenwich Village and jammed with him. And just this idea that you got this guy who by then had been very successful with Spirit and Jojo Gunn, but had grown up, playing with Hendrix. Love Me Two Times, which is Robbie Krieger and Steve Hunter. My favourite track on the album is Ted Turner and Andy Powell doing The King Will Come, which is obviously off Argus, but the version on this for me is way better than the version on Argus. It's much more upbeat. I think it's terrific. There's a beautiful version of Theme from an Imaginary Western by Leslie West from Mountain, where he does this really nice kind of nod to Felix Pappalardi, who I don't know how long prior to that he died, but he says, I know this is my buddy, I know you'll be listening in heaven. Steve Howe and Pete Haycock doing Worm, which is the guitar solo bit at the end of Starship Trooper. and then an absolutely brilliant version of All Along the Watchtower with 10 lead guitarists, which is some kind of ask. Now, I thought that the album was now out of production and that you couldn't get it anymore. Certainly the version I've got doesn't exist anymore. But when I was doing the research for this and looking and to see if you could still get it, I discovered that Steve Hunter, I think, as there is a version of it which appears to have all the tracks on, which is referenced on YouTube. So it seems as though it's still possible to get it in some format or other. But anybody who likes guitar music, it is absolutely fantastic. It is a brilliant, brilliant album from start to finish. It's all introduced by Miles Copeland. He talks about how they all came together, why they did it. It's just an absolutely brilliant album, and I play it to death.
Well, when you said earlier on that you wanted to talk about it for a long time, I thought you meant you thought about talking about it ages ago, and now you finally get the chance, rather than actually talk about it for a hell of a long time, like you've just done there. We're dying to know what it is. We're dying to know what it is.
It's called The Night of the Guitar.
Night of the Guitar or something, is it? Have you mentioned it before?
It's called Night of the Guitar.
And that's the name of the album?
That's the name of the album, yeah.
So what is this, various artists then? Is it just a compilation?
Yeah, clearly. Yes, it's
basically, I mean,
but it's called Night of the Guitar. It was the Night of the Guitar tour. It was 7 nights, and that was it, all over, done, finished. They recorded the live album and all went their separate ways.
Yeah, when I say it's various artists, clearly they're all various artists performing on there. But I wonder whether like they had a collective supergroup kind of name, like
it's
12 guitars or something.
If you read about it on Wiki or any of the other things, it's referred to as a super group. But the reality is that the only super group is when they do All Along the Watchtower. The rest of the album is 1s and 2s. So there's a couple of Peter Haycock from the Climax Blues Band. One he does on his own, one he plays with Steve Hunter. So they kind of mix and match. Alvin Lee does one with, I can't remember whether it's Robbie Krieger, but so it's a mixture. But I mean, what a lineup of guitarists, brilliant.
Kind of Last Waltz-ish kind of thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess Last Waltz would be the nearest. Probably would be the nearest type. I mean, obviously, very different music. This is guitar music. But there's on YouTube there is a video of, I think it's Steve Howe doing Worm with Peter Haycock. So that's definitely video on YouTube of part of the gig. But it's an absolutely brilliant album. My mate down the road, who I met through when the baby died, and when we got together and I discovered he was a massive music fan, he had a copy. He said, you've got to listen to this. I went home, played it once and thought, yeah, absolutely. Went round and got it ordered straight away. But it's if you like guitar music, it's absolutely blinding.
I may struggle to find it for tomorrow's show, basically.
You may, but I think that what you might find is if you Google it, you might find something on YouTube. Yeah.
Which I probably wouldn't have time to do for tomorrow anyway, but Friday I could probably maybe do something.
Yeah, I'm going to split these over the 2 days.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Well, clearly this is sublime to ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this is 1983 again, another debut solo album. Having been the lead singer of a band who had a big number 1. This reached number 10, 4 singles off it. Again, Pino Palladino on bass, the ever-present Dave Mattox on drums, uber 80s sound. Is it a good album? No. So, is it a great album? No. Is it a good album? No, it's okay. This is North of a Miracle by...
Which I don't know.
Nick Haywood.
No, I don't know it.
Who was the lead singer from Haircut 100.
Haircut 100, yeah. I knew that bit. I just don't know the name of the album, North of a Miracle.
Whistle Down the Wind, the 4 singles of Whistle Down the Wind, Take That Situation, Blue Hat for Blue Day, which you might know. And On a Sunday was the single as well. There's a really nice little song called "The Kick of Love," which is a bit jazzy, which kind of appeals to me. It's never going to upset anybody. It's never going to set the world alight. And I completely forgotten that I owned it. But I played it during the week and thought, do you know, I know why I bought it now. Because actually, at the time, it would have been quite it's quite a middle of the road sort of 80s pop album. Without it, it's not very synthy. It's just a chug along 80s album, you know. So I thought I would include it.
North of a Miracle. Okay, it's good. As you said, going back and listening to albums that you're finding albums that you didn't know you had and listening to them and thinking, yeah. It's not bad at all.
It's great fun, actually.
Yes, I'm sure it is. And I remember this one clearly, my next one when I got it, and loved it when it came out. Still do now. And it was the debut album by a band. It was, I would say, power pop, new wave at its finest. 1980, it came out. Debut album, only got a 44 here in the UK, and it had lyrics on the sleeve, which I love having. I love having lyrics on the sleeve, even for like, you know, new wave stuff. It made a big difference, like the Jam or whatever. The Clash first album could have had some lyrics. In fact, both of them could have had lyrics, actually, the first two, because then I could actually know what I'm singing. This was I'll just say what it is. It's called New Clear Days. Bit of a play on words there.
Yes.
And it was a debut album by the Vapors.
Okay.
Who had their big number 3 hit with Turning Japanese, which, of course, we don't like to surmise what the subject matter is on that. They had a song also which was called News at 10, which was a top 50 hit follow-up, which didn't do as well as they hoped, but there was a long-running Top of the Pop strike around that time. It probably didn't help because you didn't get the media attention that it could have done. And also the fact that it's called News at 10, which the BBC might consider as like a rival news program, and they might not have got so much airplay from that as well. But as I said, I think it's just great tunes. Not, as to quote, not a duff track on it. I mean, Spring Collection, Cold War, America, Trains, Bunkers, Somehow, 60-second interval as well, which is a bit of a slower song. And the final album track, which was 6 minutes long, not quite long enough to...
so that's almost peak length.
Almost, not quite. I'd say not quite as peak length to satisfy. I'm waiting for Hero. Letter for Hero, sorry, I think it is. I've written down Waiting for Hero. I'm sure it's Letter from Hero. But yeah, great tunes. Vapors, Nuclear Days. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I think it's just a fantastic album.
You're going to play a track tomorrow?
Probably so, yeah. But not Turning Japanese, I would suspect. Can I have another one now then while I'm on it? I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll, and I'm going to say this because I'm going to get it out of the way. Just to annoy Stinky Pete.
Never mind the bollocks.
Yes, had to get it in.
Had to.
It's a legendary album. I mean, they had the notorious reputation before the album came out, of course, but it's brimming with
shit,
raw energy, and are you going to say crap? I know, raw energy and unfiltered anger.
It's like a toilet bowl which won't flush, and it's all pouring out under the seat. And if you don't get out of the room quickly, you're going to soil your shoes.
I would prefer to say abrasive, direct.
Diarrhea?
Unapologetically rebellious. It's more of a manifesto than an album in a way, reflecting. And I've been clever here. I've written this down. I'm going to read it. I can try and read my writing. Reflecting the bleak realities of the working class, capturing the anger and disenchantment of a generation facing economical hardship and political instability. It's very, very English. There's nothing Ramonesy and American about it. It is, I think it's just a great rock and roll album. It's great rock and roll, and I've come to think, we're talking about punk, and we mentioned you, and you don't like punk. I know it's a generalisation, but generally you don't like the Sex Pistols, you don't like anything that's shouty. And I think a lot of these punk bands, distinguishing between them and the new wave bands, is the vocal. And maybe that's not what you like. You don't like the screaming, and Johnny Rotten is, well, he's not a great vocalist, as we know, but he fitted the sound of the guitars and the drums And I mean, Glenn Matlock was sacked before the album came out, but he co-wrote virtually all of the songs. EMI sacked him in January 1977. He left in February 1977, actually. Whether he was sacked or whether he left, I don't know. Although he was asked to perform the bass on the tracks for the album once they realised that Sid Vicious was about as useful as a chocolate teapot. And Glenn Matlock would have done it apparently he said he would have done it. He did ask for being paid up front, but he never was. So Steve Jones ended up playing the bass parts as well as the guitar parts on the album. One funny bit that did make me laugh, I suppose if it's funny, it would make you laugh, was they were in the I don't know, they were in the next studio to Queen at one point, and Sid Vicious apparently ventured into the Queen studio, and he said to Freddie Mercury, "Have you brought ballet to the masses yet?" To which Freddie replied, "Aren't you Simon Ferocious or something? What are you going to do about it?" Grabbed him by the collar and chucked him out. And then the producer of Queen, I forget his name now, was it something Baker, was it? Approached the Pistols management lot and said, "One of your band just crawled into the studio on all fours and said, 'Hello, Freddie. Can you please ensure that he doesn't do that again?'" I thought that was quite amusing. Anyway, you couldn't have an N albums, for me anyway, without Never Mind the Bollocks.
It absolutely had to be there, and so it should be.
And it's one of those albums, one of those artists that, I mean, I don't know why people don't like what I like. I literally don't know a lot of the time. Them, I understand some of it. I do, because some of it is a little bit more abrasive and, in your face. But the anger and stuff is something I'd have thought you'd have liked, Pete. But he's getting bored.
I do like the anger, but I like the anger to be directed in the right way. So I like Tom Robinson's anger because that's about social injustice. The Sex Pistols' anger is because they couldn't be asked to do their frickin' O-levels when, they're the same age as me. I went to university, that sat and picked their noses and then got drunk. Get a frickin' life.
They made a good album, though. They made a good album.
They make a good album.
They made a pile of shit.
Good is what you like. No matter what you say, good. It's none of this, it's a 12-minute guitar solo going off somewhere. It's what you like, and it's good music, and I love it. I understand why not everyone does, but I think it's good. So I've got it out of my way now. That's it. Pete, on to you.
Good.
You had it on your list as well, didn't you?
Eh?
You had it on your list as well, be honest.
No, I didn't. I had it on my list of N albums that should never have been recorded and the people should have been drowned at birth. Anyway, like cats. So I'm bringing some culture to things now. by
He's in a bad mood, Jeff, isn't he?
A 1971 prog album. So I'm going with Nerf a Nursery Crime by Genesis, which is the classic.
As well.
Oh, yeah, well, there we go. It's the classic lineup, Nursery Crime. I've said this on many occasions. In my opinion, I think it's their best album. It's a John Anthony production, recorded at Trident. I think every track on there is good. I think the standout tracks are The Musical Box, Harold the Barrel, Return of the Giant Hogweed, and The Fountain of Salmacis, which is my favourite track that Genesis ever recorded. Just a little historical note, which I picked up when doing some reading about this. Salmacis is a water nymph, and she was met by Hermaphroditus, who was the child of Hermes and Aphrodite, and he cursed the water shortly having met Salmacis, and then everybody who bathed there became a hermaphrodite. And that is where the idea of hermaphrodites come from. It is from Hermaphroditus bathing in the fountain of Salmacis. So there we go. So Nursery Crime, Genesis, 1971. It's one of those 1971 classic albums, and it begins with N. So there we go. Quick music.
It does indeed.
Shall I jump in a little bit there just to say again?
You got that as well, Jeff, yeah?
I have got it. I agree with Pete. It's the only Genesis album that's worth listening to, in my opinion. I really like Harlequin.
Harlequin's great as well.
It's a nice little song. But yeah, it is their best album. I think it's
Harlequin's quite short, isn't it?
Yeah, I like short.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I might choose that tomorrow then off the album because Fountain of Salmacis is about 10 or 11 minutes, which is obviously too long. All right.
You're so thoughtful.
It's kind
of
you're so thoughtful. I might only just play one Sex Pistols song.
You can play as many Sex Pistols songs as you like. There will be various points where I need to have this. I shall make sure that that's during a Sex Pistols song. Oh, there comes the Sex Pistols. I can feel a leak coming on. Bye.
All right. Okay. No.
All right. 1981. That went quite then, didn't it?
Any more clues?
1981 debut solo album. Most of the songs written by the gentleman himself. Double platinum, double Grammy Award winner, best new artist, best R&B vocal. All Music, whoever All Music are, say one outstanding song after another. He concocts a bouncy, vibrant flow and an intimate, emotional connection.
I thought for a minute he was talking about me having a pee again. That's a bouncy, vibrant flow.
We don't want bouncy flows of that nature. They go everywhere.
No.
True. Well, you mean like the Fountain?
So this
Monty Python would say, "I dream of a bouncy flow."
Indeed.
This album has got disco, it's got soul ballad, it's got R&B. It's brilliant. It is a really good, and I'd forgotten I owned it. It's the third one of the ones that I've forgotten. I forgot.
No, 81. It's not Shakin' Stevens.
He was big in 81. It's an American
band, is it? Or a
solo artist.
So is it a black American soul artist?
It is.
Not George Benson.
Is it somebody like Teddy Pendergrass or Luther Vandross or one of that?
It's not someone like Luther Vandross. It is
Luther Vandross. Oh, it's never
too much.
Never too much, yeah.
He does a great version of House Is Not a Home, which is a Bacharach and David song. On it, which is just like a good album. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Never too much. 1981. Luther the Vandross.
I do actually have that album on cassette, but I obviously didn't look at the cassettes when I was looking at my albums because I can't play them anymore. So
there we go. That doesn't help.
Okay, right. Can we talk about Never Mind the Bollocks again? That'll be.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to come out with this one because I mentioned them so many times. But a superb album, a New World Record. Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh damn! I've got that. I forgot I owned it.
Okay, well there you go. So 6 albums.
Is it a New World Record?
It is, yeah. But you allowed me a.
That's why. So I saw that as an A. Not that I think you're wrong, but I would have had that as an A.
Okay. So. Yeah, it's a New World Record, but you know it's one of these New World Record, A, isn't it? Really, one of those as you look it up. Top 10, both sides of the pond. 6th album, the first real shift towards a more accessible songs. Multi-platinum UK and US. 4 massive hit singles: Living Thing, Rock Aria, Telephone Line, which was the first gold certified US single actually. Top 10 in both sides of the Atlantic. We had Rock Aria as a single, which was top 10. In America, they had Do Ya, which was a re-recording of the Move song. His own song, Jeff Lynne, when he was in the Move, and they recorded it as the Move. That was released single in the States. Tightrope opened the album, typical ELO. A lot of ELO stuff was, a dramatic orchestral opening before then just turning into this sort of upbeat rock song, and it's just ELO all over. Beatlesque, full of catchy hooks, infectious pop. And there's loads of other tracks as well on it, but a New World Record is excellent. I've just noticed we've had a little message from Simon, watching live from work again, lads. And Sean has said London Calling is better than Never Mind the Bollocks.
Sean is right. Well done, Sean. You can come to my party.
I wouldn't go to his party, Sean. He's a miserable old sod at the moment.
So, but I won't be playing the.
Sean, if you go to his party, make sure you take your own wallet.
Oh, you bastard!
Right, who's next?
Well, I suppose Pete. You got any more left?
I've got 2 left.
Go on.
Right, so
We've got about 20 minutes.
1975. You'll get this one easily. 1975, third studio album, produced by Al Cooper.
Good. Keep going.
Nothing Fancy, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, of course.
Which you played a track off the other day.
I did.
In Skynyrd's 6 albums from the original lineup, this one and the follow-up, Give Me Back My Bullets, for me are the 2 weakest ones.
Weaker ones, yeah. Give Me Back My Bullets. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, that was the weakest.
The track I played from there, I don't know which track you asked for, actually, but I wasn't so keen.
You played Give Me Back My Bullets.
Oh,
Did I play Give Me Back My Bullets? Yeah, I'm not so keen on that one then.
No, it's not. No, it's very definitely their worst album. But Nothing Fancy is a good album. It's not a great album. So it's got On the Hunt, Cheating Woman, I'm a Country Boy. The 2 that get played live still, Saturday Night Special and Whiskey Rock-a-Roller. The song that you played for me when we did the Skynyrd thing on Monday was Railroad Song. Which is that kind of bluegrassy. I really like that. I think it's a...
Yeah, I didn't mind that one.
Yeah, it's quite a nice song. Yeah. Am I Losing? And then Made in the Shade is another kind of lower tempo song. It's a good album. It's not a great album, but it's Lynyrd Skynyrd, so it's better than most people's. So it begins with N. It's on the list.
Okay. I'm going to go to 1990. This is a great album.
Okay.
This is a very great album, in my opinion. There are very few albums that I play regularly. I play this very regularly.
Please, sir. Is it monolithically good album?
It is a monolithically good album.
Okay. Now I know.
This is an English superstar and an American demigod playing together. The American is one of the creators of the Nashville sound. And when you listen to the album, it is just 2 blokes enjoying each other's company, enjoying each other's musical ability, and just playing what they... You can almost hear them go, oh, let's have a go at this one, and then recording it. It feels that way.
What is the Nashville sound?
But it's the sound that was created by this guy and Owen Bradley and Bob Ferguson. It's that twangy guitar
in Nashville.
It's a alternating bass, twangy guitar sort of sound.
Are you talking Chet?
I am talking Chet.
Chet Atkins and who though?
And Pete's mate. Pete's English teacher.
Oh, Mark Knopfler.
Yeah. So this is Neck and Neck by Chet Atkins and Mark Knopfler.
Interesting.
Oh, good shout.
And it's got a great song called There'll Be Some Changes Here. They play a version of Yakety Yaks, which is just brilliant, which actually is a Benny Hill theme, but it's Yakety Yaks originally. That's it. There's a Django Reinhardt and Stephen Grappelli song called Tears, but the final song on the album is a Mark Knopfler song that says Next Time I'm in Town. It's called Next Time I'm in Town, which is a fantastic way to finish the album, because it's kind of like just these 2 guys saying goodbye to each other, you know. But the band is Larry London, it's Guy Fletcher from Dire Straits on guitar, it's Paul Franklin on pedal, Vince Gill is on backing vocals. Like it's a great album, and it's just 2 different styles of guitar, and two old blokes having a scene. I don't think Chet Atkins died quite soon after making it. I think.
Did he?
Can't be certain about that, but
God, it happens so often, doesn't it? If someone doesn't record anything for ages, maybe I don't know. I don't know whether that's the case with Chet Atkins. I'm thinking Roy Orbison. I'm thinking Del Shannon. You know, they come back with a bang with a great album, and then within a short time they're no longer with us. I notice I'm looking at the personnel on the album as well. I've got Floyd Kramer on piano on track 2, Sweet Dreams, Don Gibson song. Floyd Kramer, that's the play-out song for my shows in the mornings.
It is.
On the rebound.
I am ashamed to say that I very rarely get that far.
No, you're not tuned in at that time. But
no,
yeah,
I'm
that's
normally out by midday-ish.
Yeah. You and your work.
I know. Sorry, mate.
Right.
What you need to do is lose your laptop, then you can't do any. So I'm going to spend the next 3 days reading a book. Sod it.
Never owned a laptop. Hopefully, never will.
Is it me then?
Yep.
Yes, and then it's me.
Okay.
My last one.
Shall I throw another one into the Never Mind the Bollocks category for Sticky Pete? Because I think I've got a few other albums here, but I think this is probably one that would annoy him the most. So we're gonna have this one. 1975, number 1 album, number 4 album in the States.
I know what this is.
Their 4th album. Yeah, and it is
Night at the Opera.
It's a Night at the Opera. A monolithically good album, I think. It's got every possible style. I mean, again, I'm really baffled why Stinks doesn't like some of the stuff on this, because it's quite clever and unique. The guitar work, the instrumentation, the harmony singing, whether it be the opera stuff in Bohemian Rhapsody, which he mentioned the word Bohemian earlier on, I noticed, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was that pre-show? I can't remember. It might have been pre-show.
He was Wisconsin. Some place in Wisconsin was Bohemian.
Oh, right, yeah, Bohemian. I thought, yeah, that made me think. But yeah, I mean, there's ballads on here. There's sea shanties. There's musical. There's Dixieland. There's hard rock. There's prog rock on there as well. Probably my least favourite track on the album, to be fair. Probably would be Stinky Pete's favourite on the album, which is Brian May's Prophet song, which opens up side 2 and is about 8.5 minutes long.
That's just about bearable.
8.5 minutes long. What, that song?
But Jeff, you're laughing, but this is the concert at Hyde Park that you walked out of, and then I came home shortly afterwards.
Fully aware.
He's fully aware. But maybe albums are not the same as watching people live generally, I don't think. I think that the sort of
I think they were just awful live on that one, on that occasion. I'm not a massive Queen fan. There's a lot of their stuff I do like. There's a lot of the stuff that I don't like. But
that's fair enough, and I would say that about many other artists as well. But I think this album is sort of was the pinnacle of their career. It's sort of they were leading up before that. They had Killer Queen out as a single, which I think sort of pointed the way. The sort of cabaret sort of feel to the song Killer Queen was leading into Night at the Opera, and we don't need to mention
Killer Queen's a way better song. Killer Queen is a way better song than anything on Night at the Opera. Anything.
Possibly so, because I think it's my favourite Queen song. But I do love Night at the Opera. But then again, I do love Bohemian Rhapsody, despite the fact that everyone says it's played too much. And it stopped Greg Lake getting to number 1. Not that that's why I like it, but that's the reason that you don't like it, is because it stopped.
No, I don't like
Greg
it because
Lake
it's played
to
to death. But nonetheless, if it's sung in the car, I will sing along. So
yes.
It's,
but that makes it good. I can't understand. This is another thing, actually. Can't understand. Why is it possible to say, for me, it isn't. But if you say, I think that song is really good, I just don't like it. Does that make any sense to you? Maybe it does to you, Pete.
It makes sense if you say it's a good song, it's constructed well, it's lyrically good, it's musically good. It's
Plays
just
well.
not my taste.
It just doesn't. Yeah, maybe you could say that, but it just doesn't. It doesn't tick your boxes. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for you.
But equally, there's an awful lot of songs that aren't very good that I really love.
Well, yeah, quite. Of course, and that's the vice versa, isn't it?
Well, that's enough on Night at the Opera. I got it here anyway. You've got one more, Pete, have you?
I have got one more. This is an interesting one in that I have 2 copies of the same album. But I only have 2 copies of the same album because my esteemed vinyl dealer, he who resides in the UFO capital of the world,
Bonnybridge.
His way of telling me that he's got albums which he think I would like is to send me videos of them as he flips them through on my Twitter DMs.
Yes.
So he's flipping through, and I saw this album, and I thought, oh, that's one I haven't got. So I said, yeah, I'll have it. And it was, I don't know, 10 quid or something. And when I got it back, I went through my vast collection by this particular band and went, oh, well, this is very weird because I do have it.
You do have
but
it.
I have it with a completely different cover. So
what
I then looked,
what is it?
Oh, I'm coming to that. So I then looked inside and looked at the actual vinyl, and one of them is on Warner Brothers, and one of them is on Sire, which I'm assuming is part of Warner Brothers, or maybe it isn't. And one of them I think is the American edition, and one of them I think is the UK edition, and they must have had completely different covers, except for the picture of the band, which is hand drawn. And the album is Novella, which is Renaissance's 1977 album. And I have two copies. I've played them both. They have exactly the same tracks on them. And they have the glorious voice of Annie Haslam. They have the marvelous bass guitar of whatever his name is, John Tout. John Camp touts the guitars. Anyway, so it's only got 5 tracks. Can You Hear Me Call Your Name, which is 13 minutes and 39 seconds. The Sisters, which is 7 minutes 14. Midas Man, which is the one I shall choose tomorrow, which is 5:45. The Captive Heart, which is 4:12, and then Touching Once, which is 9:25. The other fun thing about it is that it is recorded at Delane Lee Studios, as a lot of music was at the time, and Delane Lee Studios are in Wembley, which on both copies of my album is spelt Wembly, without the E between the L and the Y at the end, thereby suggesting that the person who did the album was dyslexic or something, or couldn't spell.
Was a fan of Ozzy Ardiles, maybe. His knees are getting trembly.
Maybe he was. But you know, I love Renaissance, and all of their stuff is very listenable to of its genre, and it's a very good album. So,
well, you had 2 more albums of that than I do.
Well, yes, exactly,
and 2 more than me.
And 2 more than you as well. Have we
so
got more? Any more? Can we squeeze in, Jeff?
I've got 2 and a half.
The other one was my
give them quickly.
No, I had my cheat one, which was is Neil Young and Crazy Horse Life, but it's actually called Neil Young and Crazy Horse Life. But I worked out later that probably the album is called Life by Neil Young and Crazy Horse, but it's just the way it's written. So that's my cheat.
Yeah. Right, let me whiz these 2 and a half through quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Right, 1963, Night Train by the Oscar Peterson Trio. We've mentioned it before. It's jazz, it's blues, it's old-fashioned R&B. It was deliberately made with shorter tracks to make it more accessible to be played on commercial radio. Night Train itself is great, and you've played that for me a couple of times. The last song on it is called Hymn to Freedom, which is an ode to Martin Luther King. And after lyrics were put on it by some lady whose name I can't remember, it became the Civil Rights Movement unofficial anthem. But it's got Georgia on My Mind in it. It's got I Got It Bad by Duke Ellington. And it's a very accessible jazz album. And Oscar Peterson's Trio are just magnificent. Right, that's that one.
Yep.
Moving swiftly on, I had decided that I was going to do Nebraska by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and thought, this is really boring. I'm not going to do this.
Interesting.
In fact, it's so boring that I nearly fell asleep driving to it. So instead, thankfully, I found the 1978 album that I'd forgotten I'd got, which is Nice to Have Met You, which is by Thijs van Leer. So Thijs van Leer was the keyboard player out of Focus, and this basically is prog played by American jazz musicians.
Well,
So basically, he was in the States doing whatever Charles Van Leer did in the States in the 70s, and he's got together Eric Gale and Richard T and Ramsey MacDonald and Steve Kahn and the Brecker Brothers and Anthony Johnson and all of that lot, and said, I've got this whole bunch of songs written by Focus, none of which you know apart from Hocus Pocus, and I want to do it. Let's play them all together. So they've got this sort of like mix of semi-prog, funky based. It's a little bit weird, but it works. And the musicians, he basically plays a flute in it most of the time. But it's I hadn't forgotten I got it. I knew I got that one, but I hadn't played it for a while. There's a great song called Bahama Mama on it, which is fantastic. Rosebud, I think, is the standout on it. And then there's one that's called Superficial with a double F at the beginning, which is really funky. So that's my lot.
Okay.
So sorry, Jeff, have you got that on CD or vinyl?
Vinyl.
I might have to borrow that, and then I might have to buy it.
Because what we haven't said, and Pete and I decided we wouldn't.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
We haven't discussed the Nightfly.
Yeah, well, I thought that would be on both of your lists, to be honest.
No, well, Jeff and I made a decision over the weekend. We weren't going to talk about it because we've literally talked it to death, and everybody listening is going to go, "Oh, not the bloody." It is the best
album ever made, so it's not up for debate.
No,
and we've talked about it lots of times. The other one that I got written down, the two I got written down, were New Boots and Panties.
Yeah, I've got that one,
but I don't own it, so I didn't include it.
Yeah, I do, and I have.
And I wonder whether this was a cheat or not a cheat, so I just put a question mark next to it. Nico. As in the Velvet Underground,
and Nico. Well, that is a cheat.
Now, I don't actually know what it's called.
It's called Velvet Underground and Nico. The debut album between the two. Yeah, it's a V, really. Yeah. Save it up for the V.
I'll add it into
add it to your V list. Yeah, add it to your V list. Well, I do have New Boots and Panties, Ian Dury. And funnily enough, I have written down Nebraska as well.
I really wanted to like Nebraska. I played it years ago. It's
just Bruce unaccompanied.
It's a great concept.
It's a little bit dull, I must admit. It's a little bit dull, but and the themes are like killers and cops and I don't know, car thieves and lost jobs and police shopping relatives and stuff.
That one of that set of albums I bought you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's your fault. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I was just going to say, do you want me to own up for that?
Okay, well, I could have that, which I won't bother mentioning.
Can we just say New Boots and Panties is a superb album?
It is. I agree. I know.
Like, it's got brilliant. I love Ian Dury anyway, but it's just a magnificent album.
It is a very, very good album, I'd say. Character driven.
Indeed.
From the East End or Essex Estuary or whatever it might be. Right. I haven't got a lot of time really for any more, but a couple I'm just going to mention. One I thought I'm going to mention because it's a little bit contemporary. I say 2012 is quite contemporary. I went to see them live at the Tottenham Hotspur Ground a little while ago. And Imagine Dragons, Night Visions, their debut album. Yeah, it's a very good album.
It is.
4 or 5 really big hits. It's Time, Radioactive, Demons, On Top of the World, Hear Me's another one as well. I was surprised how good they were actually on them live. And another album, it's a shame I haven't got more time to talk about it. I'll just play something from it on the show tomorrow. Is a band called Big Star. So you had Alex Chilton, who was the lead singer of the Box Tops. He sang The Letter and various other songs. He had a band, and it's critically praised like mad, but the distribution of the album's called Number One Record, which was a bit of a joke because they just see themselves as stars, and stars were going to have a number one record, so I think that's why they called it Number One Record. But it's just great songs on there, very reflective acoustic songs. Many have seen it critically as a seminal work in pop rock and power pop. Even the prettiest songs, it says, have tension and subtle energy to them. And I suppose you can liken it to, it's obviously a bit of an influence from the Beatles, but and the Byrds, maybe with the jangly guitars, I would say. But in these days, maybe if you thought similar to Tom Petty or REM, yeah, maybe that was sort of a more modern. I know modern Tom Petty's dead now, but you know what I mean. But I mean, this was around in 1972. The album came out, total flop. It's become a bit of a. It's on the Rolling Stone list, 474, the greatest albums of all time. It's the song 13, which is a great acoustic song, was 406 on the 500 greatest songs as all time as well. And well, yeah, we haven't got enough time to say any more about anything else, but I'd no doubt there's some others I could have mentioned too. I've got loads written down here, but yeah, I just had to get Never Mind the Bollocks in basically tonight,
Never mind the bollocks.
and I did. And we do Never Mind the Bollocks. That has been the Bollocks from the Willis double act, Jazzy Jeff and Sticky Pete. Me, Big C. Thank you very much for watching. And that is it. This podcast will be posted to the usual places over the coming days. And I know we make up words during the show, as you said earlier, which is probably one of the reasons the BBC won't take us up. Is that true, Stinks?
I think it is, and they like us to be correct.
And of course, we mentioned the very rude word bollocks a few times as well, which caused a lot of uproar at the time. The sleeve was covered, the word was covered, wasn't it, in Smiths? They wouldn't have it. They wouldn't have it. But yes, so thank you very much, guys. And I'll be on the radio tomorrow, CBW Radio at 8 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern time if you're up, with some of these songs that we've all mentioned today, plus all the requests I've got in. In the meantime, all I've got to say is it's good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
It's a good night from them.